Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakahakadas Rakatham Salakia. You know what I'm saying? The time was getting long on that joint, and I'm only allowed 15 minutes. But everything's coming down. You know what I'm saying? Heed this word, be edified. Here we go again on part 2.
Chapters 41 through 47 parallels what happened in Egypt. Okay, what's going on in America now with the economy, the shortages, the famines. All right, this is what we got from the chat. But it says, number 1, the biblical pattern, Egypt's drought and famine. In the book of Genesis, chapters 41 through 47, during the time of Joseph, Egypt faced a severe, divinely revealed economic cycle. 7 years of abundance, 7 years of famine. Centralized control of grain under Pharaoh. People exchange money, livestock, land, servitude just to survive, right? And what's heavy is that the modern day Pharaoh, all right, the Edomites, they're controlling, the grain, the fertilizer, all right? Everything, as we were reading earlier in this article here, all right, everything's been sabotaged to starve out billions of people to death. Okay, this is what the global elite are doing, right? Key scriptures: Genesis 41, 29 to 30. All right, 7 years of great plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Genesis 41, 54. The famine was in all lands, but in the land of Egypt there was bread. Genesis 47, 13 to 15. Money failed in Egypt during the famine. All right, we're coming into that time where the money is about to fail in this new spiritual Egypt. Genesis 47, 19 through 21. People sold themselves in their land. Pattern: economic collapse, resource scarcity, increased central control. Right. Number 2, modern parallels in America: economic, energy, supply chains. While not identical, you can see structural similarities and trends happening in the United States. Supply chain disruptions, shortages in food, goods, and manufacturing inputs, especially post-pandemic, similar to famine in all lands, Genesis 41 and 54. Scripture parallel, Ezekiel 7:15, the sword is without, and the pestilence and famine is within. Let me go to that real quick. Ezekiel 7:15. All right, the judgments of the Lord. All right, and how they're going to play out in this time. Okay. Ezekiel 7:14, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. All right, so, twofold, dealing with Jake, but you can apply this to America now, to Babylon, the people of America now. It says the sword is without, and the pestilence and famine is within. Right? The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within, and he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. See? But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves, and of the valleys all in the morning, everyone for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. It's going to be a terrible time for people, man. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads, right? Because people are going to be in remorse, all right? Dread and sorrow. Verse 19, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. That's the money, which eventually is going to be cast out. This is why they're ushering in a new digital system. And this war is going to bring that. Their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They should not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, right? Definition B, economic strain and currency pressure, inflation reducing purchasing power, debt-based system stress, right? Scriptural parallel, Ezekiel 4:16, they should eat bread by weight, and with care, and drink water by measure. That's the rationing that we were talking about. Revelation 6:5 and 6, scarcity, economy, a measure of wheat for a penny, right? People don't have the funds, all right, to live day to day. All right, there's no more buying power behind the dollar bill. People can't afford to live on their current wages that they receive from work, okay, due to hyperinflation, okay? It says, because that's why things cost more and you receive less. This reflects controlled distribution and inflated costs of necessities, right? It says energy crisis and dependency, food. It says fuel costs, grid concerns, energy insecurity. Energy today equals what grain was in ancient Egypt, a foundational resource. Scriptural principle, Isaiah 19:5-7 about Egypt drying resources leading to economic collapse, right? And that whole chapter goes into that, man. Okay, the collapse of Egypt. Okay, America, man. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so let's go back. That's the point I wanted to read there.
And the reason the gap exists is because the people who need actual oil right now are paying whatever it takes to get it. But the paper market is still pretending everything is fine. How come? The theory is that it's because the paper markets are being used as a mechanism to suppress the price of oil psychologically to calm the markets down. Here's a chart from JP Morgan. It shows that spread going back to 2008. And for almost 20 years, those two prices, paper oil and physical oil, basically moved together. They were maybe $1 or $2 apart, maybe $5 in the crisis, but the gap right now is way outside of anything we've ever seen. And the last time something even close to this happened was during COVID, when oil went negative for a very short time, but that's what economists call a demand collapse, when nobody was buying anything because nobody was traveling. This is the opposite. This is a supply emergency. Now, unfortunately, peace talks and negotiations have failed, which means the war is technically not over. But the White House is taking a victory lap, and the stock market is coming back up. We're told everything is going to be fine, and the US just became the world's gas station again. But the data is telling us something is going very wrong, and I think the worst of it probably hasn't hit us at the gas pump yet. The effects are starting to be felt in different parts of the world, but not in the US yet. So in this video, I want to help explain exactly what I think is going on and when all of this actually starts to affect us at the gas pump and in the stock market. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come to the finance and stay for the world when it's your turn to be an adult. Do you remember watching Interstellar when they landed on... Now, one energy fund manager I came across put a specific number on the total damage, which is that the world will have lost 780 million barrels over the course of this conflict. Of context, the whole US SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, holds about 400 million barrels, but it was already half empty before the war started. So we're talking about losing twice the entire emergency reserves the United States spent decades saving up.
Yeah, this shit about the tank. Okay? The writing's all over the wall. You can watch the rest of that, all right? But it's all gonna lead to this. Billions starving, okay? A global energy catastrophe, man. All right? There you have it. You know, so we don't even need to read anything else. We know where this is going. We just read it in 2 Ezra 16. All right? All these things are the beginning of sorrows, right? 2 Ezra 16, same chapter. Yep. Verse 37, 2 Ezra 16:37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. With 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Okay? Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All right, there you go. So we know where this is headed, man. All right, it's going to be terrible. Shalom.
There you go. There you go. See?
And you listen to Trump and
You see? Everything's coming down. You did? Second Ezra 16-39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make ye ready to thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Pilgrim means stay away, stay hidden. You know what I'm saying? Do not trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? Only for the elect. Hopeful elect. That's it. Where we at? He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. That's right. All hopeful elect, 144 and the rest of 1/3, stay away from all these people. That's right. Stay in the cut, stay in the bushes, stay away. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he, what? And he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. So it's a wrap. You did? Understand what's going on. Be edified and learn. Be edified, you know what I'm saying, and understand. Hope this is a good lesson for you. More to come. You know what I'm saying? Wall, a ball, ba ball.